CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight at City Hall and Mayor Josh Morgan's final city budget before next year's municipal election. He's proposing a 3.6% property tax increase, significantly lower than what council previously approved. With more, here's Brian Bicknell.
In year 3 of the 4-year budget cycle, Mayor Josh Morgan says he managed to bring the tax levy increase to 3.6%, down more than 40% from the previously approved tax hike of 6.4%. The new figure represents an average increase of $137 on the residential property tax bill.
The budget I've tabled is the budget that I support, and that is a budget tabled at 3.6%.
Among the big ticket items for the mayor's business cases for funding increases, the health unit would receive one-time funding of $2.3 million to retire debt, in addition to $709,000 for its operating funding request. London Middlesex Community Housing would receive an increase of $641,000 to offset budget pressures.
Community housing is a critical asset and something that, we're the sole shareholder for. So underinvesting in those assets only catches up with us in the future. So they have an increase.
A number of big ticket items for savings include $450,000 for stopping the multi-residential green bin cart pilot program, as building owners are responsible for the service. $6.4 million saved by getting out of funding development charge exemptions under new provincial guidelines. $1.5 million by reducing the police budget. $760,000 from increasing user fees for sports and recreation. $8.4 million from last year's surplus to be used for tax mitigation. $9.6 million from civic administration for budget right-sizing.
There continues to be substantial debt reduction, which we're now seeing the dividends of.
The mayor tables the budget on Tuesday, then council will have opportunity to deliberate and make any changes. Of course, the mayor can veto those changes if he chooses. Any further amendments to the budget would require 2/3 of council support.
I know a few councillors behind the scenes are already working on amendments or cases they want to bring forward for consideration, so we're waiting to see what those are going to be.
In the meantime, the mayor has also set the 2027 proposed budget increase at 4.7%. He calls it a framework to be decided on by the next city council. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
London police have laid impaired driving charges after a fatal crash this weekend. It happened at Trafalgar and Condor early Saturday morning. Police say several people were taken to hospital, 3 of them in critical condition. And since then, they say one of those patients has died. A 41-year-old man from London now faces several charges, including impaired driving causing death. One person was killed in a single vehicle crash in Meaford yesterday. According to provincial police, it happened Sunday afternoon on Side Road 16 between 11th and 12th line. They say the only person in the vehicle was a 46-year-old driver from Chatsworth who was pronounced dead at the scene. Hundreds of London households were without power this morning after someone crashed into a hydro pole. Hydro crews spent several hours this morning repairing the damaged pole on Upper Queen Street, rerouting traffic around the area throughout the morning. Police say the crash happened early this morning and they aren't sure what caused it yet. Hydro officials say power was fully restored around the noon hour. Meanwhile, emergency crews closed Dundas Street near 100 Kellogg Lane this afternoon. They say a crash sent a minivan into the hydro pole there, and police say 2 people were taken to hospital with minor injuries, and London Hydro crews were on scene for those repairs as well. Traffic lights are coming to an Elgin County intersection notorious for crashes. Brent Lale has more on the frequency of collisions and the reaction from neighbors who live nearby.
From his backyard on Ron McNeil Line, Bob Rundle has seen dozens of crashes just a few hundred meters away.
We've been here about 4 years now. In the past 2.5 years, I've seen numerous accidents at the corner of Dalewood and Ron McNeil. So I've been after the county for a couple of years now to do something at this intersection So hopefully we don't have a fatality there.
With more than 30 crashes in recent years, Elgin County's Committee of the Whole has approved immediate improvements to the intersection.
The signal lights are coming here the next month or so. We're hoping to have them in shortly, as quickly as possible. We reduced the speed through that area again to try and reduce the number of problems, and turning lanes will come next spring.
In hopes of reducing the number of crashes at the intersection, this week the county reduced the speed limit from 80 to 70 kilometers per hour.
We oftentimes sit in our backyard, which backs on the Ron McNeil line, and it is high speed. It's a high-speed raceway here.
Nancy Turnbull believes the speed limit decrease is only a starting point.
Enforcement is key, Brent, and honestly. I've never seen anybody doing any speed enforcement here, and we've been here 19 years. So I think 70 is the start.
The cause is human error, but and it's the contour of the road. Unless you look both ways several times, before crossing, you're going to get T-boned. I think with the lights going in, it definitely will make a difference.
The $1.3 million cost of the project will be covered by the Intersection Improvement Project already approved in the capital budget. Brent Lale, CTV News.
A new report released today suggests more Canadians are relying on food banks as their primary source of food. As Lauren Stallone reports, that seems to be the case here in London as well.
The 2025 Hunger Count report from Food Banks Canada says poverty and hunger are becoming normalized in Canada, with nearly 2.2 million visits recorded in a single month this year.
What it's showing is that food bank usage has doubled since 2019. It's been the same reality here in London.
Jane Roy with the London Food Bank says it provides a source of food and nutrition to around 16,000 individuals. The report says that 1 in 5 food bank clients are employed, compared to 1 in 10 in 2019, something experts say points to a number of social issues contributing to food insecurity.
It's groceries, it's rent, it's gas, it's all of those things that are essential to our day-to-day, essential to our basic needs.
The report also highlights 1/3 of food bank clients in Canada are children, and 8.3% are seniors, up from 6.8% in 2019. And while the London Food Bank says it didn't see much of an increase in senior users, the demographic is certainly changing.
We're seeing people of older, younger, working class families, everybody.
If you want to know what a food bank user looks like, look in a mirror.
The CEO of Food Banks Canada is concerned and says the government needs to step in.
We've been saying this for years. It doesn't feel like the urgency is reaching the halls of power in Canada. And it concerns me about the food banks themselves. How can we absorb this infinite growth? But it also concerns me as a country.
As food banks continue to shift from a last resort to a necessity for some, the London Food Bank says it is thankful for donations from the community.
We're here to help people. We know that the situation is tough out there for everybody, and so never feel like you can't come if you need the help.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
A 56-year-old London man was sentenced today for a rash of sex-related offenses involving 2 underage girls. The judge sentenced him to 7 years and 2 months in prison. His name can't be reported because of a publication ban to protect the victims' identities. The court also heard the assaults happened between 2012 and 2016. He was convicted on several charges, including sexual assault and drugging his victims. Sarnia police say they've now charged the woman accused of crashing a car through a car wash last week with assaulting an officer. Police released these images from their holding cells in Sarnia, where they say the woman got into a confrontation with an officer. The 62-year-old is from Windsor, previously accused of ramming a vehicle through a car wash entrance after entering in the wrong direction. Officials have said that caused roughly $30,000 in damage to the car wash. The Southwold Fire Department now has a new fire hall in Talbotville. Planning for the facility goes back to before the pandemic, and it cost roughly $4.3 million, built on land donated by a local St. Thomas business owner. The previous hall was limited in its amenities. This facility has more parking, a training room, twice as many bays, and more storage space.
It really gives us room to grow. So we had an old station that did us very well, but we were really tight in there. We had very limited room for training, very limited office space, and we had 3 fire trucks, 3 apparatus in that hall. So we've got room, plenty of room for growth here. Proper facilities for firefighter decon, personal hygiene, cancer prevention, storage, lots of training facility, office space. So yeah, we're really excited.
This year's annual Shine the Light campaign launched today at the London Abused Women's Centre.
This year for the 16th annual campaign, the focus will be femicide and what we can do to try to prevent other women and families from experiencing this tragedy. We have lost too many women at the hands of men.
On July 16th, our daughter Brianna, who was only 17 years old, was stabbed by a former boyfriend. Each morning I wake up expecting to see both our children. But unfortunately, that's not the reality we have.
Organizers say this year's campaign is dedicated to 4 local women who were killed in domestic violence incidents. Family members of those victims are expected to speak at events throughout the next month, including the Victoria Park tree lighting and Wear Purple Day on November 15th. Organizers say they want stronger measures put in place to support victims.
We need community involvement in order to raise awareness. Voices need to be heard and spoken for the ones that can no longer speak, such as our daughter. Without that, it's a very, very difficult road to walk. So having community together and continuing to do these things puts abusers on notice that we're out there, and there's many of us.
It's been an uncertain start to the school year for several families in Huron County needing childcare. They've been scrambling to make it work after a local program was cut with staffing issues cited. As Scott Miller reports, there's no immediate solution on the horizon.
Marnie Van Esbroek and her husband are doing their best to try and juggle parenting and their work schedules after the before and after school program at their child's school was shuttered.
We've been alternating, leaving work early so that we can come and meet the bus here for 3:15.
London Bridge says a shortage of early childhood educators led to the abrupt closure of before and after school care at 2 elementary schools in Exeter and 1 in Hensel, closing 240 childcare spaces.
It's a big loss in our community. Teachers within the school boards don't even have access to care for their own children.
We have families that depend on it for their livelihood. And I don't think I can make it any clearer than that.
Both Van Esbroek and Mayor Finch are now imploring the Avon-Maitland District School Board to run their own before and after school program. Under provincial legislation, school boards are required to provide before and after school programs for children 12 and under. Van Esbroek is presenting a petition to the school board Tuesday afternoon asking them to begin the licensing process for board-operated before and after school care like school boards in Waterloo, Halton, and Ottawa offer.
We're not asking them to reinvent the wheel. We're just simply asking them to follow that model because it has been very successful in those regions.
Quite honestly, the school board, the local school board, has carriage of this responsibility. It's legislated. They are to ensure that there is a program for before and after for every school in the province of Ontario. So they need to take ownership of this and start a program.
The Avon-Maitland District School Board says they are still looking to fill the void left by London Bridge with another third-party provider. A number of organizations initially expressed interest in partnering with us. However, not all of those organizations were viable. At this time, the board's primary focus is on securing a qualified third-party partner to ensure continuity and stability moving forward. In Huron County, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Accessibility advocates were at Westmount Shopping Centre this weekend, encouraging families to ensure trick-or-treating is fun for everyone this year, regardless of their ability.
Halloween is a time when most kids get to celebrate and participate and play with their friends, and for our clients sometimes there are barriers to getting them to participate the same way that their peers get to. So events like today allow them an opportunity to be kids and to have fun and to do what all their friends and their siblings and their neighbors get to do, but also teach the community about how to be a little bit more inclusive so that our clients can participate on the real day as well.
We're offering tips like bringing your Halloween experience curbside, bring it down, get away from that long lane and those stairs so that it's accessible for all children. We also want that area to be brightly lit and clear away any debris for anyone with running around with costumes, but for tripping hazards for children in wheelchairs and walkers.
That's cool. That's awesome. It's so good to see you.
TVCC works with children and youth with disabilities across southwestern Ontario, providing therapies and supports and programming for both them and their families.
If you want to support children with their walkers and wheelchairs, splinting, casting, adaptive fitness, therapeutic pool, speech therapy, autism therapies, all kinds of programming, Children's Health Foundation and childhealth.ca is where you can make a donation.
Still ahead, pricey but promising. A new Alzheimer's treatment now approved in Canada. Details on the potential impact for patients. Checking today's market numbers. In Toronto, the TSX was off 77 points to start the trading week. In New York, the Dow rose 337, the Nasdaq up 432. Canadian dollar up about 1/10 of a cent. On commodities, gold dropped about $120 an ounce, and oil lost 19 cents a barrel. The Prime Minister took questions from media today for the first time since President Donald Trump terminated trade talks with Canada. Mark Carney says before that, progress was being made. With more on where things stand now, here's Judy Trinh.
Official handshake. The Prime Minister began his day with a meeting with Malaysia's Anwar Ibrahim, the fourth leader from Southeast Asia that he has sat down with at ASEAN. But the one-on-one he needs is slipping out of reach.
Whether it's provincial or Canada itself, they all knew exactly what the ad was. I don't want to meet with them. No, I'm not going to be meeting with them for a while.
Mark Carney revealed he has not spoken to Donald Trump since the U.S. president broke off trade talks on Thursday. Trump ended negotiations over an anti-tariff ad that the Ontario government commissioned, just as the federal team was close to getting tariff relief for steel and aluminum. The Prime Minister was asked if he was upset with Doug Ford.
You can get unexpected twists and turns, and you have to keep your cool. We had made progress, to repeat, and we stand by the progress that had been made.
Trump is also threatening to add 10% more tariffs on top of existing ones. When those take effect is uncertain. It's a stunning reversal from Carney's last White House visit just 3 weeks ago. How did your relationship with Donald Trump go south so fast?
It's a question for him.
Carney has considered the possibility the U.S. is toying with Canada and doesn't want to negotiate.
I'm not about to detail those contingency plans. I said this before I was elected, emphasize the importance of us giving ourselves far more than any foreign government could take away.
At the ASEAN summit, Carney said Canada would increase by 50% its non-U.S. exports over the next decade. That would amount to $300 billion. Trump may not want to sit down with Carney, but the president of China does. Xi Jinping and Carney will have a bilateral meeting in South Korea. The two leaders want to recalibrate the relationship between their two countries. Judy Trinh, CTV News, Kuala Lumpur.
Meanwhile, Premier Doug Ford is defending his anti-tariff ad, claiming it accomplished its goal. As Siobhan Morse reports, opposition leaders don't see it that way.
On the floor of the Ontario legislature,
it was the most successful ad in the history of North America.
In interviews on American TV,
I don't regret it at all.
Premier Doug Ford unrepentant about an anti-tariff ad featuring the voice of Ronald Reagan that's derailed trade talks.
Well, as we say, mission accomplished. It was done. They're talking about it in the U.S. and they weren't talking about it before I put the ad on.
Ford says the goal was always conversation. No guilt that a deal on steel and aluminum may have been close before Donald Trump intervened over the ad.
There's no mention whatsoever of auto. I feel like it slipped to the side. I'm going to fight for the auto workers, the steel workers, the manufacturing.
The opposition sees this as an unforced error.
What they did with that ad, it wasn't smart. There's a good chance Ontarians are going to pay with their jobs.
Calling on Ford to worry about the jobs already at risk in the province.
Instead, the Premier is focused on an ad campaign that's there to, boost his ego, make him feel like a big guy.
We need to be united as Team Canada and not have individual premiers go rogue.
Ford insists the Prime Minister had seen the ad and didn't tell him to keep quiet. Siobhan Morris, CTV News, Toronto.
Good evening, I'm Rita Ismail. Clear skies and cooling conditions as we head into the night. Our temperature will drop and flirt with the freezing mark overnight tonight. We have a ridge of high pressure in play, which means Tuesday will also feature plenty of sunshine right across southwestern Ontario. We're going to hold on to that sun right up until the middle of the week before one of two low pressure systems starts to make its way into the region just in time for Halloween. I'll break down the extended forecast coming up after the break.
Welcome back on the desk with Rita Ismail, and it's still a couple days away. We're keeping an eye on that Friday forecast, of course, for the Halloween trick-or-treaters, but right now, beautiful ahead of time.
Yeah, for sure. Today and tomorrow, absolutely gorgeous days. Today we saw a lot of sunshine, and as we head into the night, Carlyle, clear skies, so a little bit of a cooling down for us tonight into tomorrow morning. It'll be a chilly start to the day as well, but we'll recover nicely on your Tuesday as we have more sunshine in store. Our high today, 11 degrees, overnight low -1, record 23 in 1946, record low -7 in 1976. You can see clear conditions right across southwestern Ontario. Again, that's thanks to a ridge of high pressure, which means dry conditions. It's really creating sort of a blocking effect. We have 3 low pressure systems we're surrounded by, and it won't be until about late day Wednesday when we can see that system sitting to the south start to lift and then usher in rainfall for Thursday into Friday. But tomorrow for your Tuesday, wall-to-wall sunshine. You can see that play out here on the forecast model. Not much activity in terms of rainfall and even cloud cover. It'll be a gorgeous Tuesday and even the start to your Wednesday. Not really until about 4 p.m. Wednesday when you could see this low pressure system sitting to the south start to lift, and there's that cloud cover. In with that will be overnight showers and embedded thunderstorms Thursday morning, and carrying that all the way into your Friday. Tuesday, though, we'll wake up 1 degree mark, climbing to 13, so sitting a few degrees above seasonal. The winds will be a bit breezy for tomorrow out of the east, 20 kilometers per hour, but clear blue skies. A great day to take in some of the fall foliage, as our viewer Colleen did, who shared this beautiful backdrop photo. Thanks so much, Colleen. Your 7-day forecast, so a great start to the work week. If I could have flipped it around, I would have, because the clear conditions today, tomorrow, and Wednesday make for perfect outdoor conditions. But unfortunately, by Thursday, that pretty large low pressure system moves in, and it appears to stall or slow down by Friday, and that's the forecast that is hard to predict in terms of trick-or-treating, because we are anticipating that system slowly starting to push out Friday, but the timing's still quite early to figure out. Saturday, nice mix of sun and cloud drying out, but cooler air mass in behind that low pressure system as we drop down to 8 degrees. Midwestern Ontario, the next 24 to 48 hours will be filled with sunshine and comfortable daytime highs between 12 and 13 degrees. Heading into Thursday, Friday, again, that system will bring in rainfall, and it appears to be stalling for you Friday. So the probability for an all-day rain is there for you and higher for your Friday, around 60%. Saturday, mostly cloudy, really dropping in terms of our temperatures. We go from 13 degrees all the way down to 7 by Saturday, and the chance for rain returns Sunday into Monday. Carlyle?
Rita, thanks very much. Canadian health authorities have approved an expensive new drug for Alzheimer's. Researchers say the medication targets the cause of the disease, slowing its advancement. Heather Wright reports.
After 2.5 years, Health Canada has approved lecanemab, an intravenous drug that studies have shown can slow the progression of Alzheimer's in patients in the early stages of the disease. John Dalrymple Fraser was diagnosed with Alzheimer's about 5 years ago, the same disease that both his mom and his dad also had.
Thinking of my own family, I don't want to forget their names. I want to remember them. So getting diagnosed early gives me a chance.
Lecanemab's approval marks the first time a drug that targets the root causes of Alzheimer's will be available in Canada. The current therapies only treat symptoms and were approved more than 2 decades ago. While lecanemab will not cure Alzheimer's, doctors say it helps buy time by slowing cognitive decline and extending independence, and offers hope to families.
Is when independence becomes interrupted and patients require family members, people around them to start stepping in, that the impact of this disease really becomes felt on communities, on families, on the Canadian healthcare system.
Lecanemab is not without risk. It can have serious side effects, including swelling and bleeding of the brain and death. Once available here, not every Canadian will be eligible. Only those in the early stages of the disease will qualify. Patients will also be genetically screened, as side effects are more likely in people with certain genes.
Another major issue with this drug is cost. A Canadian price tag has not been set, but in the United States, it costs roughly $26,000 US. It's also not clear whether provincial health plans will cover it. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Finally tonight, Canadian Blood Service staff hosted a special blood drive this weekend, encouraging donors to dress up for the occasion in honor of a local teenager fighting a rare condition. Have a look.
Today we are having a Suit Up for Jack event in conjunction with Mini London, and today we're having a Halloween spooktacular where we're having people dress up in their favorite Halloween costume, as you can see from Jack here, as Michael Myers, and we're just having people donate blood or plasma or whatever they're able to do today, just to help kids like Jack who are in need of blood products for things like cancer or Jack's aplastic anemia. There's so many things out there and so many kids out there who need these products to survive.
It's about bringing back community involvement and bringing some life and support to Suit Up for Jack. So we are actually one of the first London businesses to join Suit Up for Jack and work with them to bring donors to the Canadian Blood Services, and then bringing the 4-City Mini Club in as well with the community, so as many people as we can to kind of help out here.
Donate because you never know who it's going to help, and to know that one life has breathed easier because I've lived and I've done my part is what the real meaning of life is to me.
Since 2019, when Jack first got diagnosed, I'm starting to get flushed every time I think about it. It's one of the most horrible things that have happened to us, but the Canadian Blood Service have been such a good support for us, and we're just wanting to give back in the way that we know how. Like, if we can get people to donate blood and help other people, then that's what we're here to do.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.